Maplewood is known for its beautiful homes and friendly neighbors. Families thrive here, children play in the parks, and everyone seems happy. But behind this perfect image, some people are struggling. Emily Carter and Samantha Lee are two housewives in their 30s, each feeling lonely in their marriages. With their husbands busy with work, the women long for excitement and connection. As summer rolls on, their hidden desires and frustrations begin to bubble to the surface. This story will look at the complicated relationships between Jake Thompson, a charming teenage boy looking for fun, and the two housewives who become involved with him. As their lives intertwine, what starts as thrilling adventures will end in a tragic murder, forever changing their neighborhood. Through this tale, we will explore how love, jealousy, and betrayal can turn a quiet community into a scene of tragedy. Jake Thompson is a 17-year-old boy navigating the tumultuous waters of adolescence. With towsome blue eyes that possesses and magnetic to those around him, he is athletic and has a well-toned physique from participating in various school sports, particularly soccer, where he excels as a forward. His typical attire consists of faded jeans, well-worn sneakers, and graphic tees that reflect his interests ranging from classic rock bands to popular movies, giving him a laid-back, approachable vibe. At his core, Jake is adventurous, restless, and eager to break free from the monotony of his suburban life. He yearns for excitement beyond the routine of high school classes and homework, often feeling trapped in a bubble of predictability. This craving for thrill manifests in his desire to explore relationships with older women, whom he views as gateways to a more exhilarating world filled with adult experiences and emotions. Jake's personality is a mix of charisma and impulsivity. He is naturally sociable, easily making friends, and often being the center of attention in group settings. However, his impulsive nature can lead him to make questionable decisions without fully considering the ramifications. When he crosses paths with Emily and Samantha, he is instantly drawn to their maturity and allure, believing that these relationships will offer him the excitement he craves. As he embarks on these affairs, he initially revels in the attention and affection he receives, feeling invincible and carefree. However, the allure of his relationship soon reveals darker complexities. As Jake becomes entangled in a love triangle, he grapples with feelings of guilt and confusion. The thrill he sought begins to morph into emotional turmoil as he realizes the impact of his actions on the lives of the women involved. Struggling to navigate his feelings and the mounting pressures of his relationships, Jake is forced to confront the consequences of his choices and the reality of his desires. Emily Carter, 35, is a striking housewife who embodies both beauty and complexity. With shoulder-length brown hair that she styles in soft waves, her warm brown eyes often reflect a mix of longing and regret. Emily has a graceful, elegant demeanor that can easily mask the emotional struggles she faces. While she presents herself in fashionable, yet comfortable clothing, often opting for flowy blouses and tailored pants, there's an underlying sadness in her style, as if she's trying to dress up a life that feels increasingly confined. Once an ambitious woman with dreams of becoming an artist, Emily now finds herself feeling lost in the mundane routine of motherhood and marriage. She is the devoted mother of 2 children, and although she loves them fiercely, she feels suffocated by the responsibilities and sacrifices that come with being a parent. Her husband, Mark, is a successful businessman who is often preoccupied with work, leaving Emily feeling neglected and invisible in their relationship. When she meets Jake at a neighborhood party, a spark ignites within her. The attention from a younger, charismatic boy reignites feelings of youth and vitality that she thought she had lost. Emily finds herself infatuated with Jake, captivated by his energy and the escape he represents from her unfulfilling life. Their relationship quickly becomes a whirlwind romance, filled with stolen moments and passionate encounters that make her feel alive again. However, as her infatuation deepens, so do her insecurities. Emily grapples with feelings of jealousy, especially as she begins to sense that Jake is also involved with Samantha, her best friend. This internal conflict drives her to act irrationally, and her obsession with Jake spirals into an unhealthy fixation. Torn between her roles as a mother, a wife, and a lover, Emily's emotional state deteriorates, leading her to make increasingly desperate choices as the story unfolds. Samantha Lee, 36, is another housewife whose vibrant personality makes her the life of any gathering. With her long, straight black hair typically pulled back in a sleek ponytail and striking green eyes that sparkle with mischief, Samantha has a captivating presence. She dresses in stylish yet casual attire, favoring fitted jeans and trendy tops that highlight her figure and reflect her confidence. While Samantha exudes an air of sociability and charisma, she struggles with her own feelings of dissatisfaction in her marriage to Tom, who often prioritizes work over their relationship. As a devoted mother, she juggles parenting responsibilities with her desire for personal fulfillment, but the monotony of her daily life begins to wear on her. She craves excitement and adventure, feeling stifled in her routine. Samantha's flirtation with Jake begins as a fun distraction, a way to break free from the mundane aspects of her life. Their connection is electric, and she is drawn to his youthful exuberance, enjoying the thrill of their secret encounters. However, as their relationship progresses, Samantha finds herself grappling with her growing feelings for Jake, torn between her attraction to him and her loyalty to Emily. As the tension escalates between the three of them, Samantha's competitive nature surfaces, leading to jealousy and conflict. The realization that Emily is also involved with Jake creates a rift in their friendship, forcing Samantha to confront her feelings and the reality of her choices. Caught in a whirlwind of emotions, Samantha's character arc explores themes of loyalty, betrayal, and the consequences of seeking fulfillment outside of one's marriage. Mark Carter, 36, is a dedicated accountant who has spent the last decade climbing the corporate ladder at a reputable firm. He earned his degree in finance, driven by a desire to provide a stable life for his family. Mark and Emily married shortly after college and have 2 children, a 10-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. While their home is comfortable, filled with the trappings of suburban life, a well-kept lawn, a minivan in the driveway, and kids' artwork adorning the fridge, there's an underlying sense of Mark is often wrapped up in his work, failing to notice the subtle changes in Emily's demeanor. He believes that his long hours at the office are a necessary sacrifice for their family's future, interpreting Emily's occasional silence as simple fatigue rather than signs of deeper issues. He dismisses any thoughts of trouble in their marriage, convinced that love and commitment can overcome any obstacles. Mark prides himself on his work ethic. He often brings home projects, determined to meet deadlines and impress his boss. His ambition drives him to pursue promotions, but it also distances him from family life. Mark's co-workers see him as a rising star, but this reputation comes at a cost. Family dinners often turn into rushed meals, and weekends are consumed by work obligation. Mark genuinely loves Emily and his children, but his focus on career leads to a neglect of emotional intimacy. He tries to show his affection through gestures, planning family vacations, buying gifts, or helping with homework, but these actions often feel hollow because they lack true connection. He believes that financial security will equate to happiness, not recognizing that emotional fulfillment is equally crucial. As the affair between Emily and Jake deepens, Mark's obliviousness creates a poignant contrast to the turmoil brewing beneath the surface. His unwavering belief in the strength of their marriage makes his eventual discovery of Emily's infidelity all the more shocking and heartbreaking. Mark's devastation serves to highlight the consequences of emotional neglect in relationships and a pain that betrayal inflicts not only on partners but also on children. When the murder occurs, Mark is forced to confront not just his wife's infidelity, but the shattering of the life he thought he knew. Tom Lee, 38, is a high school history teacher with a passion for education and a love for his family. He grew up in a close-knit family that prioritized open communication, and he has always valued honesty and emotional connection. Tom and Samantha have been married for over a decade, and they share a strong bond built on mutual respect and friendship. They have one son, age 5, who is the light of their lives. However, the pressures of parenthood and work have started to strain their relationship. Tom has always been attuned to the emotional needs of those around him, which makes him particularly sensitive to changes in Samantha's behavior. Over the past few months, he's noticed her growing distance, secretive phone calls, and late nights out. Despite his concern, he hesitates to confront her, fearing that he might come off as insecure or controlling. He often thinks back to their earlier days, wishing for that deep connection they once shared. Scattered beneath large oak trees, families enjoy picnics, their laughter ringing out as they share meals. This is also where Jake first observes Emily and Samantha together, their bond a mask for the rivalry that will soon unfold. Surrounding the lake are trails lined with wildflowers, where Jake and the housewives find solace from their tumultuous lives. The rustling leaves and chirping crickets create a tranquil atmosphere that starkly contrasts the chaos brewing in their hearts. Jake Thompson, a spirited 17-year-old, arrives at the annual neighborhood party, a lively event that attracts families and friends from nearby houses. The backyard is transformed into a summer paradise with string lights draping the trees and the smell of grilled burgers wafting through the air. As he greets his friends, his attention is quickly drawn to Emily Carter, a captivating 35-year-old housewife. With her sun-kissed hair and bright smile, she stands out among the crowd, sipping a drink while chatting with other guests. Their eyes meet across the yard, and an unspoken connection crackles between them. Jake feels an unexpected flutter in his chest, and Emily's gaze lingers a moment longer than polite conversation would warrant. As the evening progresses, their paths cross more frequently accidental brushings of shoulders, shared laughter, and subtle glances that ignite a spark of attraction. At one point, Jake finds himself standing beside Emily at the drinks table. The air is thick with tension as they exchange flirtatious remarks, each one charged with the thrill of their mutual attraction. Emily leans in closer, her voice barely above a whisper, as she shares a playful secret about her life as a housewife. Jake, emboldened by her interest, responds with charm, recounting stories of his high school escapades. As the party buzzes around them, they slip away to a secluded corner of the yard where they can speak more freely. Under the soft glow of fairy lights, they share personal stories. Jake speaks of his dreams and aspirations, while Emily reveals her feelings of loneliness and dissatisfaction in her marriage. The intimacy of the moment heightens their connection, and when their hands touch while reaching for the same drink, an undeniable chemistry ignites. In the following weeks, the flirtation between Jake and Emily escalates into a passionate affair. They exchange texts late into the night, sharing secret rendezvous in local parks and secluded spots near the lake. Each meeting fills Jake with a sense of adventure, while Emily finds solace in the youthful enthusiasm he brings to her otherwise mundane life. Their relationship blooms, fueled by adrenaline and desire, but the thrill of secrecy adds a layer of complexity that neither of them fully understands. As Jake navigates this budding romance with Emily, he also crosses paths with Samantha Lee, another housewife in the neighborhood who happens to be Emily's best friend. At a separate gathering, Jake is drawn to Samantha's vibrant personality and warmth. Their connection is instant, and flirtation flows easily between them, leading to stolen kisses and secretive encounters. Jake revels in the attention of two beautiful women, unaware of the impending chaos this double life will create. As tensions rise, Emily and Samantha unwittingly begin to compete for Jake's affections. Emily notices Samantha's interest in Jake and feels a pang of jealousy, prompting her to confront her friend about their shared feelings. What starts as a light-hearted conversation soon escalates into a heated argument filled with accusations and hurt feelings. Samantha, sensing that she may be losing Jake, retaliates with pointed remarks, igniting a bitter rivalry that threatens to fracture their friendship. The gossip mill within the neighborhood begins to churn. Whispers about the unusual dynamics between Jake and the two housewives circulate among the other residents. Observant neighbors note the late-night texts, the lingering glances, and the uncharacteristic absences of both Emily and Samantha. Mark Carter and Tom Lee, oblivious to the true nature of their wives' relationships with Jake, notice their increasingly erratic behavior, but chalk it up to typical suburban drama. As rumors spread like wildfire, the pressure mounts. Emily and Samantha become increasingly paranoid, each suspecting the other of betraying their trust. Their once strong friendship begins to unravel, replaced by a growing sense of distrust and resentment. Jake, caught in the crossfire, tries to navigate the escalating tensions, but the situation grows increasingly volatile, setting the stage for a confrontation that will have devastating consequences. The excitement of their secret relationships now carries a heavy burden, and the quiet suburban life they once took for granted is on the brink of destruction. Each character feels the weight of their choices as the looming threat of exposure becomes more real with every passing day. The atmosphere in the neighborhood has become thick with tension as the rumors swirl and the relationships between Jake, Emily, and Samantha hang precariously in the balance. On a hot summer evening, the three of them find themselves at a local park, an innocent backdrop for the storm that is about to unfold. The air is heavy with the scent of blooming flowers, but the beauty of the scene belies the brewing chaos. Emily and Samantha arrive separately, their hearts pounding with anticipation and anxiety. Each woman has been stewing in her jealousy, fueled by recent conversations and glances exchanged with Jake. They are both acutely aware that their connection to him has become a ticking time bomb. As they approach the park's secluded area, they notice Jake sitting on a bench, his expression a mix of confusion and concern as he senses the charged energy between the two women. The moment they come together, Emily's frustration boils over. "How could you, Samantha?" she accuses, her voice trembling with anger. "You knew about me and Jake. How could you let it go this far?" Samantha, taken aback by the sudden confrontation, retorts defensively, "I didn't know it would come to this. He's just as much mine as he is yours." Their voices rise, attracting the attention of nearby parkgoers. The confrontation quickly escalates, with accusations flying back and forth. Emily points out how Samantha has crossed boundaries, while Samantha counters that Emily has taken advantage of a vulnerable teenage boy. The conversation spirals into personal attacks, revealing deep-seated insecurities and frustrations that had been simmering beneath the surface. In the heat of the moment, they both turn to Jake, who sits there, caught in the crossfire. "What do you really want?" Emily demands, her eyes narrowing in a mix of desperation and anger. "You need to choose, Jake. Who do you want to be with?" The question hangs heavy in the air, and Jake feels the weight of their expectations crashing down upon him. Jake, confused and overwhelmed by the intensity of the situation, stutters, I care about both of you." But his response only infuriates them further. Samantha, feeling cornered and desperate, steps forward. "That's not good enough. You need to make a decision now." Emily, fueled by jealousy and a sense of betrayal, adds, "If you can't choose, then maybe you shouldn't be with either of us. We deserve better than to be a secret." The ultimatum hangs like a guillotine over Jake, the pressure intensifying as he realizes the gravity of their words. The fiery emotions between the three reach a boiling point, leaving Jake torn between two worlds, both of which he has come to love in different ways. As Jake opens his mouth to respond, the air is thick with anticipation. Will he side with the passionate, yet unstable, Emily, who offers him an escape from the mundane, or with the warm-hearted Samantha, who represents a more stable connection? The choice he makes will send shockwaves through all their lives. Before he can fully articulate his feelings, a loud argument erupts, drawing the attention of other parkgoers. Tensions explode, and just as the emotional dam threatens to break completely, the trio's relationship teeters on the edge of irreversible destruction. The confrontation escalates, and in a moment of blind rage, Samantha shoves Emily, causing her to stumble back. The scene turns chaotic as the women grapple, each trying to assert their claim over Jake, who is now trapped between their conflicting desires. In the midst of this turmoil, Jake feels an intense surge of panic and desperation. He wants to calm them down, to bring some sense of peace, but the situation spirals out of control. As their voices echo in the night, he realizes that the delicate balance he has tried to maintain is crumbling, and the impending fallout will lead to a shocking and tragic end, sealing their fates in ways none of them could have anticipated. The tension between Emily and Samantha reaches its breaking point during a confrontation at the secluded lake, where Jake and Emily often met for their clandestine rendezvous. On a sultry summer evening, emotions boil over as Emily invites Samantha to join her under the pretense of clearing the air. Emily, fueled by jealousy, lashes out, calling Samantha a homewrecker, while Samantha retorts, claiming Emily is selfish for holding on to Jake and not considering the repercussions of their affair. As their voices rise, the argument intensifies, and physical confrontations become inevitable. They grapple and shove each other, their emotions blinding them to the consequences of their actions. In the chaos, Jake arrives, drawn by the commotion. Seeing the two women fighting sends him into a protective frenzy, and he rushes to break them apart. "Stop. This isn't how we solve things," he shouts, attempting to defuse the situation. But the sight of Jake fuels Emily's anger further, and she pushes Samantha, who stumbles backward toward the water's edge. In a tragic twist, Samantha loses her balance and falls into the lake. Panic sets in as Emily realizes what has happened, and she rushes to help Samantha, but the water is deeper than it looks. As Samantha struggles to stay afloat, Jake jumps in, trying to save her. He reaches for her arm, but Samantha, in a moment of sheer terror, panics and inadvertently pulls him down with her. The struggle intensifies as the three are caught in a whirlwind of emotions, fear, desperation, and regret. In the chaos, Samantha suddenly goes under, and despite Jake's efforts to pull her back up, she disappears beneath the surface. When she resurfaces, she gasps for air, but the panic overwhelms her, and in her desperate attempt to break free, she accidentally strikes Jake, causing him to lose his grip. The accident spirals out of control, resulting in Samantha slipping beneath the water one last time. As silence falls over the lake, Emily and Jake manage to pull Samantha's lifeless body from the water, horror etched across their faces. They kneel by the shore, trembling as the reality of the tragedy sinks in. What began as a passionate affair has turned into a horrific accident, and the weight of their choices crashes down on them. In the aftermath of the lake incident, the police are called, and the serene suburban community is thrown into chaos. News of the tragedy spreads rapidly, sending shockwaves through the neighborhood. Emily and Jake are left grappling with the consequences of their actions, knowing their lives will never be the same. As officers arrive, they cordon off the area, interviewing witnesses and collecting evidence. Jake, traumatized and filled with guilt, finds himself under suspicion. The police question him about his involvement, while Emily, panicked and distraught, becomes increasingly evasive as she tries to shield herself from the blame. The bond that once seemed thrilling now feels like a suffocating weight, threatening to tear them apart. Community reels from the shocking event, grappling with disbelief and fear. Friends and neighbors question their own relationships, wondering if they, too, could fall victim to the hidden darkness lurking beneath the surface of their seemingly idyllic lives. Gossip runs rampant, and judgment is swift as the lives of both housewives are laid bare for all to see. As the investigation unfolds, Jake becomes the focus of the police inquiry, thrusting him into the spotlight. With rumors swirling, he struggles to maintain his innocence while dealing with the trauma of the incident. The burden of guilt hangs heavy on him, and the affair that once brought excitement now feels like a dark secret threatening to consume him. Emily's life unravels as well. Facing the loss of her best friend and the reality of her choices, she is forced to confront her own complicity in the affair and the tragic consequences that followed. The fracture in her marriage becomes undeniable, and her husband, Mark, is left to pick up the pieces, unaware of the full extent of her betrayal. The fallout from the tragedy alters the lives of all involved, leaving behind a wake of pain, regret, and shattered relationships. As the community begins to heal, the lessons of desire, jealousy, and the high price of secrecy become painfully clear. In the end, the shocking affair between a teenage boy and two housewives becomes a cautionary tale, a haunting reminder that the pursuit of forbidden love can lead to devastating consequences that linger long after the final act has played out.